Hey yo, did you know that your iPhone sucks because your iPhone doesn't support Google's amazing RCS? So therefore we have the better messaging platform and your phone is going to suck unless you support it.
You are fully aware that iMessage still has more features than what RCS supports, right?
Nope, doesn't matter if you still have more features than RCS. As long as your phone does not have RCS, your phone sucks and we will have the better platform.
What an idiot. Oh, would you look at that? We're now getting RCS support. So, Android users, who's got the better smartphone now?
Well, RCS is still better. Our phones are still better, guys.
Yeah, thought so. Let's begin. Shocking turn of events. I actually did not expect this to happen anytime soon, knowing Apple's stuck-up nature in terms of messaging platforms and all that. But to my surprise, Apple has decided, you know what? We're going to support RCS, so that way our texting experience with Android devices is better. And it's kind of funny how it all started out. You see, before we had the whole RCS thing, the way everyone started out, including Apple, everyone was using SMS texting. And I have to say, SMS texting really sucks. Try using a flip phone for your first year in school because smartphones were expensive and that was all your parents gave you. I was exclusively limited to SMS and let's just say I could not do a lot with that. And the funny thing was Android phones before RCS still continued to use SMS and MMS, which is very limiting. SMS is so limiting to the fact that all it can do is text. If you want to send images, audio files, or video or whatever you send that's larger than text, you had to use another system called multimedia signal, I don't remember what it stands for. It's MMS is supposedly better than SMS. The only difference is basically it'll support higher file sizes. However, Apple decided, you know what? This just ain't working out that well. Let's develop our own thing and go down our own route. And they created iMessage, the thing that many of us Apple users love and will not leave the Apple ecosystem for. It's actually not one of my primary things keeping me in the ecosystem. I can get by with any text messaging platform. Still, for many Apple users, they do not want to leave the iPhone because of iMessage, evidently. It's that powerful of a tool. There are so many advantages to iMessage over SMS, such as encrypted high file sizes you can send to your friends and all that. You can also send payments to them, by the way. Yeah, because of iMessage's really high level of encryption, you can actually pay people via iMessage, via Apple Pay. Ain't that sweet? And then, of course, we got the reactions, the read receipts, send receipts, delivered receipts, all that stuff that we just come to love so much. And then also there's other iMessage sub-app integrations like stickers and emoji, and yeah, it's truly, compared to SMS, which Android was stuck with at the time, iMessage is miles better. And Google grew a little frustrated with this because they knew Apple had completely mastered the texting experience, and when it comes to average Joes, which completely outnumber us techies, by the way, one of the biggest fundamental features that I know average Joes care about is the texting experience, and there was no doubt iMessage was clearly better than SMS. So Google developed RCS. I don't remember what it stands for. I don't remember what any of these acronyms stand for. But Google developed RCS to attempt to combat iMessage, and it does bring a lot of the features that we love about iMessage, but it's still not as sophisticated as iMessage really is. They brought read receipts, a feature that personally I really appreciate. I love knowing when my recipients read the text or not. It just gives me the assurance, okay, I don't need to absolutely spam their wall. Hey, I need your attention, because unfortunately nobody answers phone calls nowadays. Yeah, read receipts, some level of encryption, I believe. It's way more secure than SMS ever will be. And also, tap back reactions, just the feature that was introduced into iMessage. Yeah, things that we are all familiar with. And so this was Google's solution between Android devices. However, for quite a bit, when it comes to iPhone to Android or Android to iPhone texting, we are still using the old, outdated SMS and MMS system. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, it because that system is way less secure and we basically have none of the amazing features that we get with either iMessage or RCS. And as a result, it's caused a few broken texting things to happen. Like whenever an iOS user does a tap back reaction, you guys remember these days, Android users? Whenever an iOS user did a tap back reaction, sent that to you, you know how it would show up in a separate text like previous text, or I don't remember the exact line that they used, but basically it would be a separate bubble that's saying, hey, he liked this message or whatever, instead of an actual image of thumbs up or a heart or whatever they did for the tap back thing. Well, the funny thing was Google actually ended up turning tables on us because let's just say they figured out how to realize an iPhone user just did this. It can now detect when it says liked this message or whatever, and yeah, now it decided, all right, once we detect that, let's put the proper UI up. And now because of RCS and Android users getting the ability to do tap back reactions like that, now it breaks the whole thing on the iMessage side for iOS users. Yeah, not fun. And so next year, supposedly Apple is now going to release RCS to iPhones, which is great because I have a ton of Android users I have to text. It's the majority of people who I do my texting with, it's actually Android users, believe it or not. That means I will have a much more improved texting experience. And here's the one thing that I kind of wanted to address in terms of what this means for iOS and Android users. Many people think all of a sudden, oh no, Apple's now giving up this power. That means iOS users are going to start switching to Android and such. Honestly, the more I look at this, the less I actually see that happening. See, the thing that makes many people think that, oh, now iOS users are going to leave iOS because now iMessage isn't as special. Now we have RCS and basically the texting experience is the same. Well, let's not jump ahead of ourselves because I've already compared SMS to iMessage. I haven't compared RCS to iMessage yet. And here's the thing. RCS still technically isn't as good as iMessage. So Apple still has the lead in terms of the messaging space compared to Google. RCS brought some of our favorite things from iMessage like tap back reactions, read receipts, higher level of encryption compared to basically nothing with SMS and MMS. But iMessage still has a few other things that RCS just does not have. Like for example, Memoji, Apple Pay, you can pay your friends via iMessage. RCS requires a phone number. Say your kids are not old enough to have a smartphone. You can give them an Apple ID email to work with your iPad and oh my gosh, iMessage works that way too. And then also the little in-app fun activities and stickers you can get with that. There's just so much more you can do with iMessage compared to RCS. Now, RCS does basically level up our baseline texting between each other. Seriously, we've been stuck on SMS and MMS for way too long, and they've been terrible platforms to use, especially today. I hate whenever I have to send my boss video clips of something because he's an Android user, and oh gosh, MMS is terrible. It basically requires full strength cellular. Yes, you can't use Wi-Fi calling with MMS. It does not work. You need full strength cellular in order to send video clips like that, and at the end of the day, they're still much lower quality than what you'll get with iMessage and RCS. So yeah, basically the iPhone's getting RCS thing. The only thing that really changes is the base level communications and texting and messaging. In terms of which is the better platform, it's still technically iMessage, and Apple still has quite a few advantages over Android in terms of that regard. So I actually don't really think it's going to change that much. I don't think all of a sudden, because now iPhones support RCS as well as Androids, all of a sudden now they're going to start leaving the iPhone because, oh, the iPhone loses an advantage. Technically it doesn't. Instead, what just happened was the baseline experience just got improved. So I don't expect to see that many people leaving iOS for Android, but at the same time, I'm not too sure if I expect more people from Android to switch to iOS because of this reason. I don't know. The thing is, I don't actually see this making a big difference in people wanting to switch platforms. But at the end of the day, this is exciting, especially for me, because I always text a lot of Android users and not that many iOS users. So yeah, big deal for me. What do you guys think of Apple supporting RCS on the iPhone now? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.